Can I ask a quick question before I really dive into this episode of Death March? What is with the weird pronunciation of the main male character's name, and the translations as well? Because I've been seeing a lot of people that have been talking about the original source of this series and been calling it like Seru, Sato, Satu, and I'm like, how am I supposed to pronounce this character's name? And actually looking at the way the character's name is pronounced in the anime after listening to it a couple of times, it was like they were saying Satu instead of Sato or anything like that, and I was like, what? It's a very weird pronunciation, and I'm just like, why? Is that supposed to be a thing? What's with all the different translations to the name? If anyone can kind of clarify that for me, please do so in the comments below. And also, to tackle one other thing, apparently someone clarified also last week in my first impressions of how Satu apparently got to level 310, and apparently the translators, they actually didn't translate it properly for us to actually get the information that we needed to understand how he got to that level in the first place. So, the big army that, Satu wiped out, apparently it wasn't just like level 50 fodder minions and stuff. It wasn't just like that, no. Apparently, he also wiped out a few, like, dragon lords and stuff, and that's what gave him the title, and also why he just jumped up so crazy high. So that's what was explained to me in the comments last week, so I was like, oh, okay, so that makes a lot more sense. So basically, he wiped out, like, an in-game boss like that, which is still, it's kind of crusty. It's crusty that, a new player can do something like that. The game is completely broken. Like, they need to fix their game. But, I mean, for him to wipe out, a Dragon Lord or something, it does make sense now why his level jumped up so high. Now, once again, this could be a big factor with just how bad the leveling system is of this game. Because, I mean, number one, even if it's a level 100, let's say, Dragon Lord, there's just no way he should have jumped up to level 300 and something. He shouldn't have. So, it looks like to me he broke the game. It looks like, Satu, he broke the game as soon as he wiped out the entire army, and he went over the level cap, most likely. Majority of MMORPGs, typically, they don't go over, like, a level cap of 99 or 100. That's usually how MMORPGs are, and if they do go over that high, it depends on the game and kind of the community overall, or how long the game has been around. For instance, World of Warcraft has finally broken that level 100 cap, but it's been a long time to get up to that point, and so having characters usually break over 100, it's a very rare thing, in my personal opinion, from what I have seen. So, Satu being level 310, it looks like he broke the game's level cap. Somehow. Maybe he broke his game, he found a bug, he broke the level cap, which he shouldn't have gotten that far in the first place. But even then, let's just say the dragon was level 200 or something, or 100, or even 300, killing one enemy shouldn't have jumped him up that high. It should not have jumped him up to that level. So, unless the game's XP system is where if you defeat an enemy at a certain level, it'll jump you up to that high, which that's, oh man, that's completely broken too in terms of leveling up. So, I just wanted to point that out. Apparently, a couple clarified for me in the comments last week. I am very thankful for that. It just, once again, it still points out and lets us know that this game is definitely broken beyond repair. Like, yo, this shouldn't even be released yet, because for them to be able to go up to level 310 just by wiping out a big army like that, it shouldn't happen. So anyways, getting into the main topic of discussion, which is Death March Episode 2, this episode was, pretty much world building, or sightseeing. That's exactly what this was, and that's kind of what the main male character wants to do. Satu states that while he's sightseeing, he'll find out a way, or figure out a way of how to go back to his real world. So now he's come to understand that he is actually, he's not in a dream anymore. He realizes something has happened. He's definitely in an alternate world or inside of a game or something like that. He's managed to come to that conclusion, finally. However, getting home, that's like a side mission for him. It's a side quest. What he wants to do right now is just explore the game, explore this world, and go sightseeing and eating food and stuff like that. I'm like, that's pretty cool. It's very cool, and I do like his, motivation of why he wants to sightsee. Is because once he finally does get out, he does believe he's going to get out, he'll be able to apply this to make a game. Because as we know, he is a programmer. He makes games. And so, for him to be viewing a game inside of a game like this world and all that, like he's in a game, it'll allow him to become a better game maker. Because he will see the faults of the level up system, the faults of how certain worlds are, but also to see what would really make an enjoyable, good game, what players want to see. So in a way, it's kind of like a creator realizing that their game is bad and they need to improve on it to make it a lot better, and how they can go with their next work to just be much better with it. So that's what I'm getting from it. Now, it does seem like this series is probably not going to have much action after seeing this episode. I do believe that this series is going to be focusing more on sightseeing and world building than anything else besides action, which is a welcome, addition to the series, actually, because most of the time, when you have alternate reality series quite like this that's set in a game-verse, usually you have the main character that is OP, or any character, they're trying to defeat bosses, they're trying to defeat demons, skeletons, whatever, and it's a typical thing, and it's a very oversaturated genre, and we see this constantly, but I do welcome the addition of the fact that the main male character, even though he is OP, it doesn't seem like he's going to be just relying on defeating monsters, brute force going in. Is going to be mainly about him just seeing the world, exploring it, which is what an MMORPG kind of is in a way. I mean, when you think about it, when you play MMORPGs, yes, some people go on to do PvP, some people do the storyline, I do that for World of Warcraft, but sometimes people also either want to roleplay, or they want to see the world that was crafted by the game makers, and that's probably what he wants to do. Since this is a very, real world to him, he doesn't know, what to expect. Obviously, everything is brand new, and I mean, since he's so strong, obviously, he can go around and do whatever he wants. He can go view the world, because nothing is really there to stop him. Since he already has so much money, he has good gear, he can level up all of his skills, wipe out pretty much any enemy that just stands before him. So, I mean, it makes sense why he would want to venture around and just see everything. So I do enjoy that aspect of this episode, and basically letting us know the series is going to be focusing more on that than just action. Even though I do like my action, it does make this series a little bit different compared to Overlord, which I do welcome as well, because since there is already a very good series from this anime season called Overlord Season 2, and we have a couple of other series that are being set in an alternate, reality, I'm glad to see that this series is trying to be different. It's not trying to be like Overlord, because that would mean that they will have their own things and nobody can really compare the two. So I'm pleased to actually hear that in the first place. So next thing to talk about, let's talk about the main male character and his encounter with the lolly girl. So I'm gonna be honest, I'm not the biggest fan of that. I'm not, and I was just like, really? Okay, I know these type of series, they have fan service, it's a big thing, and it does seem like the series is not going to shy away from that, but I'm like, she's 13, okay? I know that there's certain culture reasons and stuff like that, which I'm willing to accept, and in this game, apparently the age of 15 is adulthood, okay, but even then, since adulthood is age 15, she's 13, I'm like, no, and I'm like, is it trying to imply that this main male character, he's going to become a lolicon before everything is said and done? Because when you think about the first episode, he did state he's not a lolicon. He stated that. And then now we have him being surrounded by girls like this. I'm like, it's starting to look like that. It's starting to look like that, and I just wonder if he's going to gain his own harem, because when it does come to alternate reality game series, harems do happen. It's a big thing nowadays. Usually we have stuff like that, so I do wonder if he's going to probably gain a harem, and majority of them are going to be probably filled with lollies, which I'm going to be like, no, but we'll see where that goes. That's just my thought process on that for now, but yeah. Anyways, let's talk about, I guess, the food. So there was, foodgasms in this episode, which, whoa, okay, so we don't have Food Wars this season, which, this makes up for that. Even though we don't have Food Wars, at the very least it lives on within this series' Death March. We'll have a little bit of foodgasms, definitely not at the quality of Food Wars, which, we're all waiting for to return in spring of anime 2018, but I'm still glad to see something like that, because I do love food anime, and seeing, exotic and different food in series like this, it's very interesting, because you don't really know what to expect. I mean, when you play games and stuff, sometimes you could find food in a game that's just very weird, grotesque, or you just want to eat it and you wish it was real. I mean, there's stuff like that, and since this is set in an MMORPG, I would love to see what type of food the character is going to find, the main male character is going to find, and what he's going to try to make or eat or whatever. It'd be very cool. I wonder if he's going to, upgrade his cooking skills or whatever and try to cook random things. That would be very cool. So, let's see, is there anything else to talk about? Let's see, I talked about his name, I've talked about, the title and his level up from last week that got clarified to me, I talked about the girl, harem, I talked about where the series is probably going to go. I'm trying to think. I think I pretty much covered everything I need to talk about. I think I have. I mean, besides that, I guess, that's about it. I mean, I guess art and animation is the next thing I could talk about to end this video off of. Let's talk about the character design. I neglected to talk about the character design in my first impressions of Death March, and I think it's appropriate that I mention it now. And someone did point this out to me in the comments in my first impressions, and I knew the main male character looked like someone I recognized, but it just didn't, you know, click in my head until someone pointed it out to me in the comments, so thank you for that. But, someone said that the main male character, Satu, he looks like Kirito. And I have to say, yeah, he does. He definitely does look like Kirito. And I feel like this is a very common trait when it comes to this genre of anime. It's a common trait to where you have the main male character probably look more like Kirito than anything else, because I've seen a lot of these type of series nowadays, and majority of them tend to copy the format of SAO, like they have like the character design or whatever, and I wonder if that's just a theme now, or if it's just like they're trying to design it off of a certain standard default character that's popular in, you know, Japan. For instance, like, you know, an MMO game or something. It could be something like that, but yes, he does look like Kirito, and I can see why many would not like the character just for that alone. Speaking of the character, I actually figured out something I do need to mention, which is the voice acting of the main male character. I like the older voice the main male character has, but when he's talking through his avatar inside of the show, I don't like it. It sounds like an old man trying to talk like a kid. I'm like, it does not work. It does not work as much as how Momonga, you know, Ainz from Overlord is. You know how, you know, Momonga, when he talks in his head, he sounds like, you know, his average, you know, Japanese self. But when he talks, you know, out and all that to everybody, he sounds with this deep voice. He has this very deep voice. He talks to people. It sounds completely different. And it doesn't work like that. Like, Overlord perfected that. It's pretty good. But in this series, Death March, the voice actor of the main male character, it does not fit. It does not fit at all. I just do not like it at all. That's my personal opinion, but it does not fit at all. So yeah, I'm going to end the video there. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoy my content, please subscribe. If you like this video, please leave a like. And if you want to get notified for whenever I upload a video, please click the bell icon down below next to the subscribe button. I love you guys. Please be safe. Stay warm. Chibi out.